so we can be free.
What's up, guys? So a few weeks ago, I was invited to be interviewed by someone who hosts a League of Legends radio show, and of course I accepted. So I decided to share some parts of the interview with you guys, and you guys can check out the full uncut interview with me on his audioboom channel. I'll leave that in the description for everyone to check him out. He makes some cool League of Legends podcasts. It's very interesting stuff. You'll probably learn a lot just by listening. So if you like this video, please check him out.
Hello, Summoners, and welcome to episode 35 of League of Legends Radio. I'm your host, Ponder Sealine. This episode, I am featuring a YouTuber called Heizman, and he does a lot of educational jungle videos, those kind of things, so I picked his brain a little bit. He's also a Diamond Jungle main, so we had a lot of good stuff to talk about, and that is coming right up. Alright, guys, this week I am welcoming League of Legends YouTuber Heizman to the show. Okay, so first off, could you tell us a little bit about who you are, what got you started on YouTube, all that kind of stuff, introduction stuff?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, as you guys know, my name is Justin in the real world, and it's Heizman in the gaming world. I'm 21 years old. I'm a junior in college. I'm a major in IT. I've been a huge video game lover for pretty much as long as I can remember. Growing up, I've always played video games from Halo to Call of Duty, Age of Empires, now League of Legends. It's always been in my life. Getting started with YouTube, I would say I started YouTube for a few reasons. First reason, and probably most importantly, is I just love creating things, right? Nothing's more satisfying than finishing that video that you put a lot of work into, or just watching it through for the first time. Also, I hit Diamond last season, and when I hit Diamond, I knew that I had entered somewhat of an elite group of players. I believe the top 1% of ranked players is the statistic of when you hit Diamond. So, I kind of realized that I had something to offer players that were still in lower elo trying to climb, or even just players around my level who respect another good player. So I figured, what better way of using this expertise that I've built in League of the last few years than to start teaching people how to get better while entertaining them in the process. So yeah, I really enjoy teaching and entertaining people, and I just get a lot of satisfaction out of it, and yeah, it's a good feeling.
Yeah, so do you think that there are any things that your channel maybe does differently or is more unique, maybe besides your viewer interaction, or would you say that that's one of your strongest selling points for people to visit you?
So, when it comes to being a YouTuber, there's things that you constantly discover about yourself as a content creator, right? When I look back at my old videos, I can tell that, I was pretty new to the game. The quality of the videos, it just wasn't that exciting to watch. And part of that's from flat-out experience, but mostly it's because I just didn't really know what people like to see, and I didn't really know what I was good at. And once you find that, you can really expand your limits as a channel. You find your strengths, you find what makes you unique. And like I said, what makes me unique is that I take recommendations, I talk to my viewers, I comment. People feel a connection to me, at least that's what I hope, and that's kind of my brand. I would say that is definitely the number one thing that makes me unique. But like I said, I make what people want to see. Really, that's what it comes down to. And if there's ever a video that people don't like, I make note of that, and I will, I'll just continue the series, right? So, kind of goes hand in hand with what I said, but that's simply the most important thing to my channel, I feel.
So you hit Diamond, you said, in Season 5 as a jungle main, if I'm not mistaken. What allowed you to climb through the ranks and get to that high ranking? Which champions did you play? What kind of tactics did you employ? All that kind of stuff.
Right, so yeah, I'm a jungle main, but I have been all around the block. I started as a mid lane main. I was a mid lane main all the way until plat, and then I started playing a lot of top lane, and then from top lane I started getting more into the jungle role, and since I've been at jungle, it's stuck. I love it, and I don't plan on ever becoming a different main, but I would say, the tactics that I've noticed help me climb. The first and most important thing is being able to focus on one thing at a time. When you try to get better as a player, I think people have the tendency to try and make everything better at once. Like, oh, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, and then the next game they'll think about all of it, and what happens is you're trying to overcompensate, and then as a result, you don't get better at anything. So I think one thing that I internalized and I started implementing as a League player is focusing on one thing at a time. Whether it was CSing, warding, roaming, League IQ in general. I mean, whatever it was, I would focus on that until I felt like I was at the level I wanted to be, and then I would move on to the next thing. So that was like the most important thing I do as a League player that I would suggest other low elo players implementing into their game. The second thing is finding champions that match your playstyle. So champions that I'm a really aggressive player. At least that's how I feel I play. I like being really mobile. I like being aggro. That's why I played Lee Sin. Before I made Lee Sin, I also played a lot of Kennen. He was really strong at the time. And, I climbed a lot with Kennen because he matched my playstyle so well, and I was able to master a champion that was so diverse. And I think that's really important. If you're someone that's not mechanically gifted, that's okay. A lot of good players aren't mechanically gifted. Then you should be playing those champions that match your, maybe they don't have a lot of skill shots. Maybe they have a lot of utility, like support role. But being a support doesn't mean you're not good mechanically. But there's just typically a lot of champions that provide for that type of playstyle. So I would say another big thing is to find the champions that you feel like are more suitable for you and your playstyle.
So I think we're just about wrapping up. If you had to leave people with one piece of knowledge, if they could take away one thing from this for the low elo players, low elo junglers, what's the one thing that you would tell them to get better at this game?
I would say if I could tell you guys one thing in getting better at this game, it would be focusing on yourself. I've played a lot of League of Legends in the last few years, and I've seen it all. And I think that, honestly, besides the repetition of playing all the time, besides looking at these guys, the one thing that made me better was just self-realization, I guess. It's just, when I do something wrong, I take the blame. When I lose a team fight or I lose a game, I look at what I could have done better and not what everyone else could have done better. I hear this a lot from high elo players telling the same thing, the exact same thing, but I'm here to reiterate that and just ingrain that in your head is the only way you can get better at this game is by you yourself getting better, not hoping that you'll get better teammates next game. So when you make mistakes, you gotta blame yourself. You gotta just worry about yourself. Stop paying attention to your LP. Stop paying attention to how many games you win or lose that day. Just focus on your play, and when you finish a game, you can reflect on that game. Did you win the lane? Did you overextend? Were you making successful ganks? Do you feel like you placed enough wards? Etc. I mean, you can actually check statistics now in the match history. That's something I do a lot. It gives me a good indication of what I'm doing in comparison to other players, and it gives you insights to where your gaps are as a player. So I could go really on and on about this concept, but it just starts with your attitude. You got to be hungry to learn. You got to be resilient, and like anything else, it could take a really long time to notice results.
Heizman, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you again.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the opportunity to be on your radio.
So that's the end of the video, guys. The interview itself was about 25 minutes long. I cut it down to, I guess, about 8 minutes. And I just included the parts of the interview that I thought you guys would find the most interesting. But the rest of the interview was awesome, so I definitely recommend checking out the full version. Go to his channel. Awesome stuff. But that's it, guys. Thanks.
I'm bad luck, baby, it follows me around everywhere I go, and I don't need your sympathy, no, I need a fucking miracle. Oh, red wine, tea stain, it's been a long day, I just want your love, not your money.